Hey, I can't hear you, actually. I lost your audio. Oh, because you're on my mute.
Because I'm on mute because I'm excited that you're here with us. And everyone out there, welcome back to Aura 8. I'm Vali, and today we have a legend in the room. So it's a legend alert that's going on. Tell your friends, tell your fellow traders, tell everybody that the legend in the room has arrived. If you have been in crypto for more than 5 minutes, you would know our guest. Back in 2013, he put out a YouTube video that basically changed lives. He told the entire internet just by $1 of Bitcoin. People laughed. The video is sitting at over 7 million views right now, and Bitcoin is up approximately 20,000% since he said it. He didn't just call it, he lived it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of my age, the OG Bitcoin evangelist himself is here, the founder of Davinci Codes with 900,000 plus subscribers, deep, and now living the crypto life right here in Dubai. Davinci Jeremie, aka Davinci 15. How are you doing today? And how has the journey been?
Hey, Valley, thanks. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well.
Not bad. The summer is harsh, but the indoors and the AC is kind of keeping us cool.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I know. I've been, actually waking up early at 4:30 every day. I'm posting it on my Instagram story, but I do go out for a run. Well, not really a run, but a walk for about an hour in the heat, and it's nice. I like it. It's like your own sauna, basically. And actually, you know what? I do have a sauna, and it's outside, and so it's 50 degrees outside, and so if you go inside the sauna, which is 110 degrees, and you come out, it's freezing cold.
Well, that's the best thing of Dubai right now, right? You step out for a minute, and then the moment you kind of reach your car or you get inside your house, you're kind of drenched. And I think this is
Hmm.
one side of Dubai that not a lot of people get to see, but the people who live here, we know it all. In
Exactly,
fact,
exactly.
you are one of the first guys not just to talk about Bitcoin, but you're also one of the first guys to actually, perhaps for me, was talking about this concept that we now call longevity. Because I think now it's over close to 2 years that you're waking up at 4:30 and running on the treadmill. At least earlier posts that I would used to see, but because my Instagram got hacked and I need to get in touch with you there again. But then, do you see how now it's become a trend? But then you were an OG there too. Did you realize that?
No, 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 no. I'm sure other people have woken up early. Come on, I'm not an
No, no,
OG.
no. No, no, no. What I mean is in the space of longevity, in terms of aging reverse, right? You started this about close to 2 years ago. It's a hot trend right now, right?
Hmm. Yeah, people are
So
saying that I'm aging in reverse. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Maybe I don't know. I don't see anything, but
well,
people are saying that I look a lot younger than I did before.
there is one thing that I know is that whether I lie or your friends lie or they don't, your trousers will not lie. So how
True,
many inches did you lose?
true. Yes, I've lost a lot of what's it called, mass, not just weight, but yeah, I can see it on my clothes. Well, I mostly see it in the watch. I've already taken off
Huh?
three things off these watches. This watch, three little, how they you can take off little
Yeah,
pieces, right?
the links, yes.
The links, yes, and then so you can. It's definitely a loss of mass is occurring there on a major way. So, yeah, and I thank my friend Crypto for his Health, right, which I follow as well, and yeah, definitely helpful tips, right? And, everybody's into like getting knowledge now because you know what, with so much access. the information on YouTube. It's the new trend, and if you're interested in some knowledge, right? Of course, I teach people how to obtain their Bitcoin. If you don't have any Bitcoin, right? I have a school at b4b.dj15.com.
Tell us a little more about that.
Well, our school is basically helping you understand first Bitcoin and understand why you need it. If you don't know why you need it, and let me explain. It is the asset that is final settlement. What do I mean by that? Because it seems a little bit complicated. Final settlement. Well, everything you own in the banking system is credit. So if you own a stock, you don't own a stock. You own a promise of a stock, which is not a stock. Right? You own a promise of dollars, which is not dollars. And dollars are promised to pay you nothing, right? If you take the dollars out of the bank, it's also a promissory note. It's somebody else's promissory note to pay it back. So all you own is credit notes, right? And credit is effectively a promise, like we kept saying. And guess what? All promises get broken one way or another. Period. Whilst Bitcoin is not a promise, it is, right? Same with gold. It's not a promise, it is. Same with silver. It's not a promise, it is. So if you own a lot of promises and you think, I'm rich, look how much I've got 2 million in stocks. Yeah. If you read the book, what's it called? The Great Taking, you'll learn that those promises are already rigged to be taken away from you. Promises of stocks. Because in the book it explains that you have a a stock that you can exercise until there's a problem with the financial system, then it's not yours. And that's already written into the law. That's already guaranteed, and that's it. And so you don't own anything if you only own it up until everything goes haywire, and then obviously that's when you need real money, right? That is what Bitcoin's for, right? Bitcoin is your savings so that you actually have money even when the worst happens. And on top of that, this is money that you could travel with
True.
anywhere in the world. Try doing that with your bank account money. You'll find that it's very difficult to move. It's not impossible, of course, but it's just extremely painful to
It
move it
is
from one bank to
not
another.
only painful but also expensive.
Hmm.
If I'm carrying more than $10,000 and I'm going to any other country in the world, it's a hassle to exchange money. And then the commissions are so high, and then there are multiple commissions that go on. And carrying cash, as we all know, is a bit of challenge. And in today's world, uh, everything is right here.
Hmm.
So it is absolutely true what you're saying. But then, let me ask you this: when institutions and ETFs that are involved right now, and a massive chunk of Bitcoin supply uh, is in that financial ecosystem, what's your take on that? Do you think that Bitcoin was supposed to be routed around, or
Well,
just
anything in
very
the financial system is a credit. So, for example, it's a credit promising you Bitcoin, which actually doesn't promise you Bitcoin; it only promises you cash. And so, effectively, they could hold what's called a derivative. What is a derivative? A derivative is an asset that follows the price of the underlying asset. Oh, okay, I've said a lot there. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that um, there is no real Bitcoin that's being purchased, just somebody willing to take the opposite side of the bet of that supposed Bitcoin asset or derivative. And that's it. And so you are guaranteed the cash value of that bet, which is which from all intents and purposes you think, well, that's Bitcoin, so that's it. But it's not. It is a it's a fake Bitcoin. It's basically, paper Bitcoin, which doesn't exist. And gold has the same thing, right? Silver, same thing, right? There's more. There's about 100. They estimate about there's 100 for every ounce of gold. There's 100 promises for that 1 ounce of gold that exists. So that's probably getting built up with Bitcoin now when it comes to the banking system. And we teach all this in the school. b4b.dj15.com. Yeah, you can learn all of this and more, and also how to you know navigate the wallets and take care of your wealth.
You have said that people don't just own enough bitcoins while big players stack up. Is this a genuine conviction, or it is just that whatever OGs say right before the market makes them a bag holder? What do you think about it?
Well, that's what's happening. That's what you see it in on-chain data, right? And you don't. How many people do you know have over 1,000 Bitcoin, right? You don't, right? But there's a lot of accounts on the Bitcoin blockchain with over 1,000 Bitcoin. So you know that's being built up by the heavy hands, the people with real money, the institutional players, and so forth. They understand the value of this asset, and they're building up their portfolio. It is what it is, right? And of course, they want to get the lowest price, so they also, because they have billions of dollars, they can move the price around wherever they want, and but within reason, right? Of course, they can't do it for forever, right? So they can manage the price, meaning that they can't actually say, okay, well, I'm going to get it to $35,000. No, no, no. They can manage a waterfall event, but they can't where there's a sell off, but they can't really actually cause the prices to sell. They can't sell their Bitcoin to cause the price to go down to 35,000, right? Because they can't do it because they don't have enough, right? So, and then they wouldn't be able to buy it back afterwards because for every time they sold it, somebody else took the other side of that, and they might not sell for a long, long time, right? That would be me, right? So yeah, that would be their problem if they tried to sell into it and try to buy it back. We wouldn't be able to buy it.
You know, since you say that everybody should own some Bitcoin, what do you think should be the average number right now for a, a person right now?
Well, I think if you have no Bitcoin, you should start getting some, right? It doesn't matter what the number is, you get some, and you hold on to that. If you want to know what number is a really good one to save, if you are looking to save and hold and just forget it, I guess 0.01 is good, but you should always, once you understand, if you're looking just for like that, oh my god, I want to wake up one day and rich, look, I'm rich. That's probably not the best way to look at it. I think the best way to look at it is to learn how to save, basically, right? Because most people, when they see somebody who is rich, even I used to, is thinking, okay, well, they have to have all these things, all this stuff, the cars and glamour and stuff like that. And no, you don't. Who it doesn't really matter. And once you realize that, right, it takes a while, especially if you get a bunch of money together, right, you start spending it, and you realize, oh shoot, all this is waste, right? It's not real. This doesn't make you happy, anyways, right? Um, you start to realize what does matter, and what matters is protecting your wealth for your future, and also not only protecting it, but using it in a wiser way, by building something, systems, building something that will actually earn you income over time. So, for example, what would be wise with once you saved up to your Bitcoin is to, let's just say you're good at running I don't know, a convenience store, right? You buy a convenience store and have it make money so that you can You can live off that. You have somebody managing that, or let's just say it's another type of business. Like you buy a golf cart and you have somebody manage that. You buy, I don't know, a farm, right? And you have it come income. You buy the garbage collection, right? Something that's never going away, right? You buy any of those businesses that will always generate you income, and you don't have to work anymore, right? Because whilst Bitcoin is the way to save and ensure that your savings are protected, it is not a means of income. What is real businesses, real companies, things that are producing wealth.
Got it. And since you had a 16 long year career in software architecture and now full time into crypto, what are you doing around AI agents? Like, tell us a bit on that.
Oh man, I went for a deep dive into AI, man, agents. I have I have four agents running, right? I have Kim, who's doing my personal assistant stuff and helping me with videos and so forth. I have Dan, which is my network administrator guy, because I have like, um, let's see here, I have three Mac Studios, three Mac Minis, all maxed out. I got multiple servers, right, running different applications like for Bitcoin, for crypto, other crypto like Ethereum and so forth. I don't have something for Solana because Solana requires massive resources. But the server in order to run a server, Solana server, I wanted to, but I never could get enough resources, and that is I guess the downfall of Solana is it's a massive thing to run just a node, right? To to see how to play with it, right? To communicate with it directly. Um, but yeah, I enjoy all of these things, and I have them actually doing all the work. So, for example, if like let's see here, what's an example for Dan? I recently said, hey, you know what? I'm using let's see here a password manager. Can you do come up with a backup and restore process for that? And it goes into sets it all up, right? Oh, these servers, they need to be updated. Can you go update them? And goes and updates them. This is something else, man. This is crazy. That shit crazy. I I I I found a bunch of Dogecoin. Um,
Wow.
$14,000 of Dogecoin somewhere, and obviously it was just I have like a private key, and so all I had to do is tell Kim, "Oh, can you download the Dogecoin and on a server?" And it just what it did is it downloaded multipass, installed multipass, and installed Ubuntu. It copied over, it compiled the Dogecoin code. It ran the node software, download the whole blocks, and then it's like, okay, now you can go and put in the private key. And now I put in the private key today, and there it is. It's like there it is, boom, right? And then it did. Then I said, hey, I found some what's it called, name coin. I have like $6,000 worth of name coin, right, from way back in the original days, right? And it just went and it did the same thing for Namecoin, and but Namecoin was completely different. It had problems with trying to get the private key in, and what it did is it wrote a script in order to install the private key, reprogrammed Namecoin, and created a script, and in order to get my private key inside of Namecoin. So imagine if I had to do the amount of work I would have had to do. I mean, I could have done it myself, but I
But the
didn't have to.
time, but the time.
I didn't have to. Right? That's the beauty, right? Right? So the time that I would have had to spend to get a hold of that name coin, I would have said, ah, screw it. But even though I would have had the capabilities to do it, I just wouldn't have the time. Now my agents, they get everything done for me. I mean, this is unbelievable productivity at its max. I mean, the amount of value I've gotten from OpenClaw, which is what I'm using, and I also use Claude Code and what's it called, Codex, right?
Okay.
I haven't gotten to use the Claude. Did you know about Grokbot? Have you heard Grokbot?
I know about Grok. I use Grok a lot, which is
Grokbot is new. It is
oh,
exactly like OpenClaw or Hermes and stuff like that, but it's for the average person because what it does is instead of you having like you know how I have like the nerd me have like a whole bunch of computers, right? Well, you get computers in the cloud. They spin up computers as much as you need, right? In the cloud as you need them to do whatever work you need done. So, for example, in that example where I needed I needed Dogecoin and to run Dogecoin and install the private key, it could have done that on computers outside on the cloud, right? Done the same thing, but not on my hardware. So if you're broke, or well, not broke, but if you don't have a whole bunch of computers, this is where Grokbot really shines.
okay. I'm going to use that today because in my stack I use Hermes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about the G Stack, which is by Gary Tan, uh, the co-founder, sorry, the CEO of Y Combinator? Have
G
you?
Stack? I never heard of it.
I'll send you the link. Read about it. It is fantastic. My entire Kryptonite website, it's handled by Hermes on my local machine, and I haven't yet gone onto the pathway of getting in the VPS or the Mac Studio, but I have a solid Mac, and I'm running everything on it.
Mhm.
So which and by the way, I'm doing it all open source. I
Yeah.
am running Olama on it, and the results are pretty good.
Yes, I know it is. I think every time I play with these things, I say one thing: oh damn, people are in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh damn, people are in trouble.
I think the trouble has already started. In fact, few days ago, we had Dr. Ben from Singularity Net, and he's also known as the godfather of AGI that now Sam Altman and the others are talking about. And he says that we might have an AGI maybe in like 3 years. So now imagine in 3 to 5 years, if AGI takes over, I think the speed is going to be insane. And I think then you and I will have to just spend time with the family and enjoy every bit of it because all the work will be left over for the machines to do it. We
Yeah,
won't really have a lot of
but
work.
there'll always be need for money. Elon Musk said that there won't be money in the future. But here's the thing: who's going to buy his robots? And then robots, right, need to these all these machines need resources, and these resources are finite. So the finite resources have to be allocated somehow. And how do they get allocated? With Bitcoin. Why? Because they don't have time to move gold around. Or they're not going to hold credit notes that somebody else is going to stop. No, they're going to hold Bitcoin, these agents.
No, but Visa has stuck up a partnership with AI agents, and Annie Mocha Mines from Hong Kong, they have now a partnership with Visa, and I think even OpenAI has a partnership with Visa,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
because I,
Visa, all that's going away before Bitcoin in the future because of the way it works when you're talking with agents. You have a means for them to hold Bitcoin money and transact, whilst they can't do that in the current banking system. They can only do it with, well, they could do it with stablecoins, but stablecoins have the ability to be frozen at any time. So then that would block the agent from actually accomplishing his job. And yeah, you could say, well, that would be a good thing if they went evil. I mean, come on, there will always be ways around these systems anyway. So that's it. It is what it is, right? And if we didn't have Bitcoin, these agents would have invented.
interesting. And what's one decision in your journey in terms of investment, businesses, or personal that in hindsight cost you more than it made you? Even if it was like Bitcoin, if the bet worked out or didn't, like What do you think of that?
I think what cost me more than it made me was moving to Dubai. Right? Probably, yeah. It, there was a lot of you end up doing a lot of cool stuff, and then not realizing, not learning the real value of where you want to be, what you want to do, because honestly, right? Let's just say whoever it is, I give you a bunch of money, and you go, you do this, you go here, you go there, you do this, you do that, you go, oh my god, yes, yes, and then you realize you get to do everything, and everything's cool, but then what does you really want to do, right? And then you realize that, and then you realize, oh, all these other cool things are cool still, but this one thing that you're interested in is way cooler. And so you only have one life, right? And do you want to waste it on everything, doing everything, or do you want to focus on the one thing that makes you truly happy? And that is where you want to be.
Well said, well said. And I love the honesty, because a lot of us will uh, completely resonate with that. That Dubai has, it is. We don't perhaps realize, but then Dubai, eh, like if you don't control your spending, you can tend to spend 10x, 20x, and then you realize, ouch, like what just happened. So I
Hmm.
absolutely I understand what you're saying, because see, for a lot of Indians, Dubai is the best city in India, because if you're in Dubai, you don't need to speak English, you don't need to speak Arabic, you don't need to speak any language as an Indian. You can speak Hindi and or Urdu, and you can get your work done. Like even in Palms, I'm sure all the guys who come and work there, Hindi is a pretty comfortable language for them. But yeah, let's not talk about for someone starting from zero in 2026 with no audience, no capital. What's a realistic path in crypto that isn't just buy Bitcoin and wait for 10 years?
Well, a realistic path is to actually always work to build some sort of income, right? In order so you can save Bitcoin or save in crypto. Now, crypto is can be just a gambling casino, and you could try to do the oh, let me put it all on this stupid coin, right? And then probably, I'm sure there is a stupid coin, but whatever, right? And you could buy it, put it all on that, and then hope for it to go to the moon and
The
go to a
moon.
billion-dollar market cap. But that is not a real strategy. A real strategy would be to figure out what you want to do or what you want to provide to someone, to some people, and then do that, right? Start providing that support. Now, you might not, if you're starting from zero, you're going to have to be like, for example, like a person who is like, if I were to take you and drop you on any one single person on this planet that's watching this show, take you and drop you on an island with just the clothes on your back, um, what's the first thing you have to do? Well, you have to learn how to fish and hunt and get food and build shelter, all the basics before you could even think about doing what you want to do. Right? So the same applies in this case, right? You have to do the same basics, right? You have to build up a nest egg, right? A savings, right? You have to find a job. You have to work at that job. You have to save that money, and then over time, the Bitcoin is the best asset to save it in. And then once you have enough savings, you focus on not buying something with that savings, but buying a business, right? Meaning that buying a real business or buying something that will actually get you more money, get you out of the rat race. That's what it's for.
Very well said, and I think I think that should answer a lot of questions, saying that, hey, what if we start early, or sorry, when what do we do when we start now? Let's now talk about what does your actual daily routine look like now, the boring, unfilmed version versus the people assume a crypto millionaire's life in Dubai does all day.
Okay, well, it is boring, but actually I enjoy it, and I prefer it this way. Um,
Boring is good, by the way, right? And especially in Dubai, boring is good. Please,
mhm.
please go ahead.
I,
Please.
I, I wake up at 4:30 and I get immediately. I get up and get dressed. I do some basic exercises to make sure that my body can be stretched, and I will be able to survive. Live till If I live till 100, I'll be able to get up off the ground, right? And then I go for a long walk, and then when I come back, I shower, and then I go and I journal in my journal, right? I write about what I did yesterday and what I promised myself to do for the day. Then I have a 4 hour work focus hour where no one can disturb me, where I'm working for 4 hours on the one specific project, and then I work on putting together the video. I plan my video for the day for an hour, and then I have lunch with the wife, and then I do other work tasks, scheduled work tasks that I plan for at 1, 2, and 3, and then at 4 I go over the plan for the video. I get it set up the whole recording studio, set everything up ready to go, and then at 4:30 I record. At 5 I have a dinner, and then I go for a walk, and then I leave my evenings pretty much wide open for whatever comes later. But at 9:30, nine, sorry, not 9:30. At 9, I'm in bed. By 9:30, I'm out.
Nice.
That's my day.
Wow. Wow. But I have a bit of doubt. You mentioned that in the morning, 4 hours you have like deep focused work and nobody can disturb you. And since you're a parent now, how is that possible? Please tell me, because if I'm focusing right now, there is somebody who's going to tap my shoulder and like will demand my attention. How are you managing it?
Simple. I told my wife that has to be the case, right? I have to do this for myself and for the family, right? This is not about me being selfish. It's about me building myself, and that by building myself, it helps all of us, right? And
Wait,
so
I would say,
so
sorry,
I
go ahead.
lock the door, and I let her know that, hey, you know what, this is my time, and she respects it, and now she's doing the same thing. She's coming up with time that she can to allocate.
Let's talk about this in the next couple of years, and I'm very curious that if you still get time to do focused work, because at
You
a
have
certain
to.
age,
Yes, it's going to be hard, but you have to take it.
yeah,
You have to
yeah,
say this is it. You have to be a real dick about it, right? If you have to
true.
be, because if you don't, life will take it away from you, and it's not. You know what? It's not their fault. It's yours.
Absolutely. In fact, since we are having this conversation now, I need to somehow practice this, because I have a bit of distraction at home that's moving in, and I need to set hard boundaries now. uh, and perhaps that is why I at times in the morning I like to go out and work, but the traffic is such that I'm like, screw it, let me just sit down and get things done. But I would love to know from you that 10 years from now, does the average person on the street own crypto the way they own a bank account today, or does that stay a niche for people who are already paying attention?
Well, I can't speak to exactly 10 years from now. I think most likely agents will take care of it. Most of
True,
most of
true,
this
true.
in the future. Um, the thing is, right? If it's not that way, those people will be impoverished, right? Because our whole system is designed to do that, and that's the whole plan. That's the plan. That's the only plan. Especially since the United States just hit 40 trillion in debt. That's 3 trillion in a year. And I don't know, not none of you guys really understand the concept of $1 trillion. If I
Yeah.
were to give any of you $1 trillion, there's no chance you'll be able to spend it in your lifetime. None. And you can say, well, I'll just buy a country. Well, no one's going to sell it to you, right? Okay. Well, then I'll buy a Coca Cola. Well, again, they're not going to sell it to you, right? Do you see
In,
the problem there, right?
if
What happens is you won't have, like, you could probably buy a few businesses, right, that will sell to you for a billion here, a billion there. But again, you'll be like, you probably get to around 800 billion left over, right? And wondering, what am I going to do? That's how crazy of a number it is.
in fact, I was doing a research and I realized that 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years, and 1 trillion seconds is 31,688 years. Because a lot of us, we use the word millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, like, we don't mean it or we have no idea. But then this is a massive difference. And I'm glad that you brought it up. So most of us could get that clarity.
Yeah,
My
and yet the United States has spent, they've gone in, not
40.
spent, gone into debt, 3 trillion more this year. Their total expenditures is 8 trillion. This is unsustainable. And where are they getting this money? They're printing it. So it's game over. Our financial system will come to an end, right? Because this is not logical.
Do you think this will happen in our lifetime?
Well, put it this way, right? My wife wanted, because I kept telling her, you know what? There's probably a good probability that in order for them to extend and pretend, they're going to reprice gold, right? And and then she says, "Oh, let me put in a bet. What's it called? A call by a call option, long put a call option, long dated call option." And I said, "What? Why would you do that? That's just a stupid gamble, right?" And so she decided to ask ChatGPT, "What is the probability of that happening in the next 6 months?" It said 25%. I was like, "What the?" What the? And then it went on to say by 2032, it's 65%.
Wow. Wow. So I think our generation may be the first, or perhaps the most blessed, or the most cursed generation ever, because we have seen uh, landlines, or perhaps like back in India at one point of time, to get a landline you had to wait for 6 months, and from landline to calling anybody on a speed dial today, to internet, now AI. I don't think any other generation has seen this crazy changes ever
No,
possible.
no, no. And you know what? The only reason why these elites, you know what, everybody talks about how these guys want us all dead, right? You know how they talk about the overpopulation, blah 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 blah, and Bill Gates talks about killing people in Africa and all that kind of stuff, right? And I mean, this is not like conspiracy theories. You could actually look this stuff up. He's already said
True,
it.
true.
It's not true. Um, they can't do it because history shows you why. If enough people die, what happens is all the technology goes away forever. And proof of that is that we can't reproduce the concrete that created the Pantheon. Concrete today doesn't last more than 50 years, it starts to crumble. Yet that Pantheon is created out of all concrete with no rebar, reinforcement bar, and it's still standing after 2,000 years. Right? There's so much other technologies that were invented that were lost forever, right? And that's just concrete. We can't even reverse engineer that. Right? So, right? So think about that. You still can't even reverse engineer that. And you think about, okay, so if enough of us die, the semiconductors is not coming back. Period. Right. So this is what's the problem. This is why they have a very big dilemma, right? And so if if they can separate us from the really really poor and the super rich, the people who actually spend the time to study, hey, I think I need Bitcoin and got oh, I think I need gold and I got all that stuff and I got out of the banking system before they wiped everybody out. It's easy for them to separate things and then see who needs to go and who needs to stay. So I would suggest that people work on producing some real value and saving it to protect themselves. Because think about this, right? I don't care if you think I'm crazy and it's a conspiracy nut or something, but think about this. You all know that the vaccine was a scam. You all know that what's it called? Uh, um COVID was a scam. You all know that now, right? And if you don't know, then you've got a problem. You've got bigger problems. But now that you know that, notice that you all were forced vaccinated, right?
True.
Except for the people who had money and said no. Even the person who invented the vaccine, the CEO, was like, "Yeah, yeah, I just don't want to step in front of the line." I remember him saying that on the news, and I'm like, "Okay, whatever, whatever, whatever." Now right? It wasn't meant for um for health
Humans.
reasons, right? So, with that said, right? Who cares what the bottom who was what the end of reason was for? The point is that you could see that this was completely wrong and they could do something like this again, and you better have control over your life, and that's what wealth is all about, is controlling what your own decisions are, saying, yeah, that don't make any sense and I'm going to say no. And if you don't have money, you won't be able to do that.
Now, now when I think about it, I realize that how it was manufactured, that at that point of time people were not nobody was thinking straight. Because I remember during the second wave, the way people were dying and the way it was portrayed in media, that second wave is even worse than first wave. And I knew my Facebook timeline was just filled with condolences of friends who had passed away. And the only solution that one could think of at that point of time was to fight and get vaccinated, because in India at that point of time there was a massive shortage for oxygen cylinders and a massive shortage of getting a vaccine. You have to stand in long queues and get it done. So now imagine the way the governments and the way the people in power really have manufactured that something that nobody would have wanted, like maybe 2 years ago, even if you would have given them for free. We paid money, fought our way through to get it. And I know somebody
Yep.
very close to me who lost their life after getting vaccinated in about 10 days. They just fell dead.
Yes, yes. And the thing is, right? Remember that when you said mentioned oxygen, the sad thing is, right? I studied this. Getting oxygen forced down your lungs is actually going to kill you. You can't do that with this particular. That all it will do is cause you to drown in your own mucus. You can't do that, and they knew, but that helped increase the death rate so that you can get scared.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. If you look into all of this crap, they set it up nicely so that the death toll would actually increase. The real death toll would increase, and it would be caused by a secondary reason, not because of the vaccine, not because of the COVID.
What are the other conspiracy theories that you really believe in? We spoke about the government collapsing, the U.S. economy, collapsing. We spoke about COVID. What are the other conspiracy theories that you think is perhaps true?
Yeah, just the difference between conspiracy theory and conspiracy fact is time. Just so you know.
Okay, 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 okay.
just for those people out there, right? We're like conspiracy theorists. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was a conspiracy theorist when during the middle of COVID. Say even before they invented the vaccine, I remember telling my personal trainer, you know,
Were
they're going to
you in
vaccine,
Dubai then?
and then
Were you,
no, I was in Chile. You know,
okay.
they're going to invent a vaccine, and then they're going to force you to take it. They said, no, no way, no way. Those vaccines take a long time to be studied and stuff. Okay. All right. I
Which is
guess the
which is
difference
also
between
true.
conspiracy theory and it's conspiracy fact is time. So, right? Yeah, just so you know, right? It is what it is. You know what? Our whole I guess the conspiracy theory that I just mentioned, the best one was the gold one. I mean, I thought, I told my wife that they're probably just in order to extend and pretend they can just reprice gold and then do that, and then that will extend their life cycle here. And that was my conspiracy theory, right? I didn't think it had any merit until she decided to ask ChatGPT what was the odds of that, and it was based on articles they read said 25%, and I'm like, Jesus, that's a little bit higher than I thought. Right? That's a lot higher than I thought, right? I can tell you that much, right? But that is the case, right? There is one person who did bet that if gold goes over 20,000, right? He's bet $3 million, and he's going to get, if it gets over 20,000 by the end of this year, he's going to get like $40 billion payout, right? So yeah, who knows, right? Maybe somebody in Trump administration with lots of money made that stupid bet. I don't know. It is what it is, right? I mean,
And everything is possible, especially with the Iran war. Even when the wars happened in Afghanistan and Iraq and in Libya, it was not to an extent of choking the entire world, right? About
mhm.
11% of the oil passes through that route. And Iran prepared for the war for the last 20 years. They're preparing for the war. They knew that America is going to attack them, and 20 years of preparation. And we clearly saw what happened. Do you think that
Careful. What did you see? What did you see?
whatever was shown to me?
Exactly. Keep that in mind. Now, I'm not saying that it's not right. It's not correct. What you saw is not what actually happened. I'm not saying that. I don't know. What I am saying is I don't know.
Okay.
Right? I heard the bombs here, but here's
Yeah.
the thing. I, I looked up in the sky. I saw a white puff of smoke where the bomb was supposed to exploded above my house a few times, right? But I didn't see a drone come, I didn't see if that was someone actually attacking. It could have been just them shooting a bomb and exploding it above the city. I'm not saying they did. I'm not saying they did because I don't have that evidence, right? I'm not saying that. But I am saying I don't know. that's what that's what I am saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm saying, sorry, I was saying that if uh, Donald Trump happens to send boots on ground, because 11% of the oil comes from there, and people in Dubai are not facing a lot of heat like the rest of the world is facing, especially Asia, because petrol prices have really gone up. I think I feel special in my car, and this month it went over by 20 fills, but it last month it got down a bit, which was a massive relief. But then, do you think that if Donald Trump sends foot on ground, uh, what you are predicting or what you are thinking of can actually be true? Because 20 years of preparation is a lot. It's not something to be played or toyed around with.
I have a conspiracy theory that I'm not 100% sure that's true, but I think that this is all a game, all a game that was already planned with Iran a long time ago with the United States, right? I think they've already planned this whole process. They've already because there was a lot of things that didn't make any sense the way I looked at it. Like, okay, so for example, U.S. would shoot something, destroy something in Iran, and then Iran would come and destroy a base that was empty as a response. And it'd be like, okay, then that would be that. That would be that, right? That would be the end of it, right? That would happen a lot, right? Throughout the last 20 years. And I'd be like, okay, that's not making any sense, right? If you want to, if they kill somebody, like for example, the United States would kill somebody in their country, and then they just destroy a base that's empty, destroy something that's empty where nobody died. It wasn't adding up, and and so my conspiracy theory is because they have cells in Iran. I think the United States is controlling one of the cells because you know how they they killed the leadership and then they're still fighting because they broke themselves off into different cell factions, right? So they're decentralized, right? So they can continue fighting without if the United States had broke in on one, they tried to kill. There's no head command basically, so they'll keep on fighting. So they have to destroy one cell or the other cell. So I think they have some sort of cell there that decides that they can control, and this whole thing is just planned because the financial system is collapsing, and so this is a smokescreen for that, right? Smokescreen for a lot of other things, I think. Because one, China plans to attack Taiwan. They're trying and so this I believe it's also another chess piece to show to pretend that they're not strong enough to beat Iran, but they've got. I mean, so China tries to do something stupid so that they can actually go after China and stop them because the United States has got stuff that you ain't seen before. And so I don't think China could take on fight for Taiwan. And that they have to do that before 2028 because of other reasons. But anyways, if they want Taiwan at all, so there's a lot of moving pieces here, and these are all my speculations. So keep that in mind. So take it with a grain of salt. I just see things differently, and I know that the world doesn't work the way they portray it. Whatever they tell you, that's not how it's working.
Well, the way you think makes me uh, assume or guess. Are you uh, some like for me? I just got diagnosed with ADHD, and all my life I didn't know why I operated in a certain way. But then there are very few people who can actually think the way you're thinking, and when I listen to it using all my filters, I perhaps think that it could be true because
But we don't know.
yeah. But then it is good to be aware. It is good to know this, that uh, the world is going through a shift that perhaps we have never ever seen before in our lives, and I'm sure, according to you,
But
Bitcoin
it's
is the answer.
Yes, it's happened all before. But here's the thing: the cool thing is that all of this has happened before, right? So it's not like we can see, right, that it's history. Um, it rhymes very well, and so, for example, the United States was running out of money, and they needed money in 1933, and so there was they were talking about, hey, taking everybody's gold before they took everybody's gold, and then they did it. All right. Today, they have the systems in place to take everybody's stocks, right? Because they have no money, right? And so there it is. It's not like because you don't have gold, right? The majority of people who have wealth, they have it in stocks, right? And so where are you going to get it? Well, there you go. You just take the stocks from the people, and that's it, right? And you could say, well, what about Elon Musk? Well, obviously, Elon holds his stocks directly, right? Because you can do that actually. And if you guys do some research, you can actually find out how you can hold your stocks directly. But yeah, once you hold the stocks directly, then it's yours, and no one can take it from you. But right, they do have the law on their side. They can just write in the law saying, "Hey, that's ours." But it's easier if, hey, it was always a law. You didn't read that.
The
Who
fine
told
print,
you
the fine
that?
print always gets you.
You didn't read that? We're not doing anything illegal or immoral. And on top of that, we're going to pay you for it. It's not like we're going to take that. We're not going to steal it from you. We're going to pay you cash. Dollar bill, y'all. Oh, don't. What, we print it? Yeah. You want that. It's how you pay your taxes. There.
So,
There it is.
so what is the only hope for the world, for the kids who, for your kids, for my kids? What do you think is the future for them? Because by the time that they grow up to be adults, we'll have AGI for sure in full swing. Uh, what do you think our kids
There'll
should know
always
what to
be
do?
there'll always be a value for human labor, of course, but it won't have it's always been dropping in value. This is why in the past you couldn't mortgage a house, and you shouldn't mortgage a house today. Now, the value of human capital will collapse, but um, there will always be something you can do to provide a service that will earn you wealth, and you just have to be good at it. You have to spend time studying great people, right, through the past, right. So, for example, one of the people I study is Musashi, Miyamoto Musashi. Now, I'm trying to get his name right because I just always butcher it every time. Miyamoto Musashi. He
Maya Moto
Musashi.
Shashi.
Now
Okay.
he was considered the greatest swordsman of all time. But if you asked him, he'd say, "No, I'm not. I'm the one of the worst." And the reason why he was the greatest was not because of his skills, right? It was because how he was able to study to control his emotions and his mind. And if you have those capabilities, right, which you will be able to do whatever, be great at whatever you want to do. That is what he was teaching. That's what, not his duel. Don't to look at how he fought and killed like 62 people, right? Nope, that's not important because he stopped and he went on to doing art and showed people that that what he learned in this arena was available in other arenas of his life, and he used the same techniques he did in fighting to produce the greatest artworks. And so that's an example of what you can actually do with your time is to master your mind and be able to do anything great, even though you're not great.
I don't think we could end this at exactly an hour mark right here. You said, I think, the most important thing that we all need to know, whether we have Bitcoin or we don't, we need to master our minds. And thank you for spending time with us. Is there anything that perhaps you think that the world should know? The kid growing up. Is there anything else perhaps that I haven't asked you? This is your time.
Well, I don't think there's anything else they should know, but other than your audience know that if you want to join me and talk to me and be, communicate directly with me, you can head over to my school, join the school, and then yeah, we can set up. You can actually join me as I do my live videos, ask me questions, and I will answer them. All right.
Okay, yeah, yeah, you're back. You're back. Okay, great.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good. All right. Yeah, lost the connection there. But anyways, I think that was it for today. Thank you for having me on the show. Right. Oh shoot.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes, come. Yeah, I had an interview, and I talked about school 3 times.